I'm Angie Merrick with Smart Money TV. Today I'm joined by Elizabeth Warren, a professor at Harvard Law School and author of The Two-Income Trap: Why Middle-Class Parents Are Going Broke. Thanks for being with us, Professor Warren.
It's good to be here.
You've written so much about sort of predatory credit policies. I mean, when someone is opening up that first credit card, you're a young person, what should you be looking for in a contract? Is it even scrutable to a young person?
This is the big problem. No one can read the credit card contracts. I can't read them. I bring them in. I had a student come in a couple of years ago, and I rail on about credit cards and credit card contracts in my classes. And the student came in and tossed down a credit card application and said, "Now, Professor Warren, even you would have to agree this is a good deal," because it had it in a big, bright green, kind of day-glow green, 3% cash back. I thought, boy, that really does look good. So I took a look at the thing, and I said, "Tell you what we'll do. Let's take this to class this morning." We handed these out, and I said, "I just want to ask you a couple of questions about this credit card that's being offered here. What's the effective annual interest rate on it? And if you make minimum payments, how long, and you charge $1,000, how long will it take you to pay it off?" Now, you had approaching 100 would-be lawyers, soon-to-be lawyers, and they worked for the better part of a class hour to come up with an answer. But all that is just really a long way of saying this. Credit card contracts have become unreadable. The Wall Street Journal says that back in the early 1980s, the typical credit card contract was about a page long. They say that now the typical credit contract is more than 30 pages long.
Are there red flags, at least, that someone can look for in those 30 pages? And what would you advise the real-world person trying to sort this out?
Part of it is look for credit cards that are shorter. The agreements are shorter, not the cards themselves are shorter. Look for shorter credit card agreements. More transparency in the terms. I will say often credit unions have better credit cards, but even there are credit unions who have sold their portfolios to major banks or what are called monolines, just companies that do nothing but run credit cards, and have, as a result, picked up some of the very onerous terms. It's hard right now with credit cards. The main advice I get is it's less about the selection of which credit card you have and more about how you handle your debt personally. Anyone who carries a balance on a credit card is in serious financial trouble.
You've talked a lot about trips and traps. What do you think are some of the worst ones out there that people don't know about?
Probably the one that surprises a lot of people is what's called euphemistically universal default. What it means is that someone could be making payments on a balance on a credit card on time, meet every requirement under their contract, and they get into a dispute with their car lender, and they withhold a payment, which they're legally entitled to do. The car lender reports it to the credit reporting agency, and bam, the interest rate on all the credit cards jumps to 29.9% interest. Extra fees are loaded on, and now the person is in a financial death spiral. All because the credit card issuers are keeping track of all your other payments and looking for any opportunity to raise those interest rates and see if they can get more from you. Another one that's surprising is the innocuous little clause in credit card contracts that says if there's a dispute, we'll take it to arbitration. The credit card companies keep track of which arbitrators rule which ways. And if an arbitrator rules against them, there are some credit card companies who say, we'll never use that one again. The arbitrators figure that out. And if you want to make a living arbitrating, they know the rule is you better do what the credit card companies want.
And the rating agencies themselves have a lot of errors in people's credit reports, is that right?
It turns out that about 1 in 3 credit reports has significant error in it. And to the extent that credit card companies and mortgage companies and car lenders are looking at your credit report to figure out whether or not they're going to charge you this much, or this much, this is really important. You may be in the high-risk category on paper, when in reality you should be in the low-risk and low-cost territory. It's a serious, costly, and largely hidden problem right now.
Thanks so much for being with us, Professor Warren. It was a real treat. I'm Angie Merrick with Smart Money TV.